Okay. 2 minutes before we joined, I just lost all my feelings as if I'm entering into the space that you and I are just going to come, feel, connect again, as we did many times over.
Yeah.
And then I realized I cannot believe that 3 years later, since the day I met you, I'm getting to interview you in personal, intimate talk. And
Oh,
you are my mentor, my teacher.
thank
And
you.
I don't think you have any idea. And this is where the emotions come in and float out. I don't think you have any idea of how much you helped me, guide me.
Thank you.
All this to say, I'm honored to have you here, and you have no idea.
Oh,
Honored, honored, honored. So, welcome, Mayor.
oh, thank you so much. That's so beautiful. If I give that gift to one person in the world, I feel so full. I mean, what a great way to start the new year to hear those words and to know that I've impacted your heart, your soul. And what
Mm.
I see in you is just such radiance and such beauty. And you loan yourself to other people in such an admirable way. And I love watching the blossom of you. And I love this platform. And so I was giddy with excitement that I got to do this with you. So thank
Mm.
you.
Yeah. And, I often say teachers that are altruistic in nature. At that point, you have to get to the point where you have so much that you want to gift it to the people, gift it away, give it out, release it as if you are no longer almost identifying with it less and less. Often don't know the impact that they have on people around them. And I wonder, do you receive this feedback from people that you have so much value that you almost cannot comprehend? And how often do you receive that?
A lot. I would say a lot. I don't mean to be arrogant, but I think the reason why is I hopefully make people feel comfortable expressing their emotions. And so I also think, and I don't know why, but the group of people that I work with, or even just comments on a video, even strangers and students and clients, they come with such generosity usually. So it's very rare to, um, it's very rare for me to um, work with somebody who's super closed or angry or mean. I have, believe me, I have. But that's more rare than the love and the abundance and the generosity and the gratitude. And also, I want to tell you that I think astrology, I have to credit the actual tool that I use, astrology is quite shocking and surprising to some people.
Hmm.
So I just worked with this couple, for example. She's my follower, he's not. And I didn't know we were doing a three-way. So I got on the Zoom and, well, actually, it was a phone call. And holy moly, can I patch in my partner? And I usually need to prepare for that a little bit. Well, the gentleman had only seen my video like one time. He didn't even know. He thought I was just talking mumbo jumbo. He did not totally understand. He was trying, but she was a big fan. Anyways, by the end of that conversation, it was a 2 hour conversation about their relationship, their composite chart, their synastry. He was completely shocked. How does she know these things? Because I would speak to him without giving him necessarily like, oh, you have a trine here. I would just speak to him in the definition of what um a Pluto moon conjunction is. Like, what happened to your mom?
Hmm.
What happened when you were seven? And at the end of that, he was so blown away. He was so shocked. He was moved to tears and
Hmm.
told me so. And so I that's what I wanted to say is I have to give it also to the credit of actually astrology is so shocking of a tool, how it can open you up and spill you out in ways that you never even saw yourself, and then allow for the forgiveness to
Hmm.
yourself and to your partner and to life having not given you everything you wanted. Now you kind of understand why. So I think there's like a gratitude born into really accepting the astrology too. So
Mm.
I do receive the gratitude a lot, and I'm grateful for that, because my love language, my second love language, first is words of affirmation, first is acts of service, and second is words of affirmation. So it
Yeah.
is fuel for me to keep on going.
Yes.
It's fuel.
And to that extent, it's like we need to know. And I think it's not the
Yes.
confirmation that we're seeking. It's not the validation that we need in order to continue, but it's actually a supportive sense of, okay, almost like it's a slight silent confirmation of I am doing the right thing. Because we almost have this, sometimes we wonder if this is the path, right? And once you keep
Yes.
coming back to it, there are confirmations that live inside of you and the confirmations that you receive from the feedback. But in your sense, Mare, I never once felt that you do this as if you're asking something in return. It is purely altruistic, and it is so clean that it cracks. Almost you use the tool to remove the layers to the truth of someone and
Yeah.
vulnerability. And when people get touched by the words, you have the tool of astrology. But it is, like you said many times, it's your story that it's interwoven into a specific custom made personality who you have met for the first time ever, not knowing their developmental age. You don't know where they come from. You only have the mathematical equations. And based on that, something inside of you, I always feel, speaks as if it's not even your identified persona that knows everything or knows a majority of the tool. So this, I think, is very touches people a lot to a surprise. And I
You
have
know,
not yet an astrologer who actually has this energetic blueprint inside that shows to people.
oh, that's so kind. Thank you. I
Yeah.
really, really appreciate it. I I love this work. And my business coach a long time ago said, how much money do you want to charge? This was a long time ago. I was trying to set my first prices, right? And I said, I don't know, I have no idea. And she said, well, come on, how much money do you need to make? And I was like, well, I don't know. I really didn't know. I was stumped. And then I told her, her name's Kelly. She's wonderful. She really helped me a lot grow my business, build my business. And I said to her, this is work I'd do for free. To tell you the truth, I can't even put a dollar on it. And eventually I grew and I did. And I realized doing it for free was exhausting because people people wanted it for free, and that was exhausting. So my pricing is actually my boundaries. I put pricing there to put boundaries. So I just take, you know what I mean? It's just a
Hmm.
boundary. So I'm not flooded with 1,000 readings a day. But it's very interesting because I would do this work for free. As a matter of fact, I want to tell you this one story and tell me if you already know this story. But my very first client I met in a bar. Did you know this?
Mm-mm.
Maybe. And
Your first?
yeah, I was
Mm.
at the bar at Wild Ginger in downtown Seattle, and I opened up my laptop and I had an astrology chart, and I was just looking at different people's astrology charts, just still learning. And I don't know, I was looking probably at Ben Franklin's astrology chart or something. And this girl walks up to me, she goes, oh my God, what is that? When you first see an astrology chart, you're like, who are you, an astrophysicist? I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
well, kind of, not really. And I'm having a glass of wine, and she asked me all about it. And she said, so do you give readings? I said, yes, I do. And she said, how much do you charge? And I had not yet set my rate. And I was like, oh, and I said, $100. I charge $100, and I'll sit with you and I'll read your astrology chart and I'll help you until we solve your problem. I already knew what her problem was because she told me, and she had
Hmm.
just broken up with someone. And she's like, could that help me? And I was like, absolutely, it'll help you. So we met the next day at Starbucks. She gave me $100. We met at 9 a.m. and I sat there until it closed at 9:30 at night. I only went home to get my dog, to bring my dog back. And that
I
was my
love it.
very first astrology reading. So how many dollars an hour is that? Like 10, $10
$10.
or
Yeah, yeah.
something like that. And it was invigorating. And she gave me the biggest hug and she said, "Can I come
Mm.
back tomorrow for another $100?" And I was like,
Wow.
"Yeah." So I went back the next day and we sat there for 12 more hours. And that's when I realized I actually need to get some pricing going and I can't sustain this.
So
That was my very first client.
question related to this, because you've done hundreds of thousands of readings in the last, what, almost like 30 years of your
Yeah.
practice.
I
That's
stopped
a,
counting at 85,000 5 years ago.
oh my God. But you always keep coming back to it with more passion. The question is, it's
It's
not the
true.
chart, it's the person. You have to get out of yourself in order to get into someone else's life story that it's absolutely irrevocable, unique, and never repeated, ever, ever, ever. So, what makes you want to dive in with so much passion?
Um, Astrologically, should I answer that like what's in my chart? Um, I think it's this like innately deep desire to show a person. I think it's the Scorpio in my chart, just to be really honest with you. I have 3 planets in Scorpio, if you count the South Node, and it's in the fourth house. And so it's really, really deep. So I have this like bubbly personality and persona. But when I'm in my work, I'm in so deep in the throat chakra. Like I am
Hmm.
literally at the jugular or in the stomach. I'm in those two places inside a person.
Hmm.
And so, I mean, it's really deep work. And I love how you said, I don't know if we were recording yet, but how I peel the layers back to get into the soul. I don't layer things on the person. I
Hmm.
actually peel back to get into that soul. I think that's very Scorpio, don't you? I think the Leo in me might put stuff on you, might
Hmm.
put the
I
crown on
love
you,
that.
might dress you up and how you want to be. But the Scorpio wants to remove the persona and get down in there. And so what keeps me coming back is when I see a person, I'm seeing their soul. And I can oftentimes, I think it's the Scorpio, I can see the psychological wound. I can't see the physical wound always. I see the psychological wound and I want I want them to see beyond that in a loving, compassionate, empathetic way to heal themselves. And if I have the ability to show them that, why would I keep it to myself? I'd feel guilty keeping it to myself. I have to
Mm.
give this away in a profound and meaningful way. And so if I get a client that I really feel I cannot help, and there are some, not very many, but some. I mean, maybe I've done this 5 times in my lifetime. Um, I will tell them I'm not the person for you. I can't help you.
Mm.
Like I won't even take the money and try if I can't remove the persona and get down in there and do that work and
Mm.
have them walking away feeling better about themselves.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Mm. And what you're saying is exactly the modern way of doing the therapy, which is let's put this on the side, what you know, and let's just unpeel deeper and let's go down directly into your soul. What you do is you go directly deep, but you're so gentle about it, Mer. And here
Well,
is where
not always. Ask my husband. He's in the
I,
advanced course. He doesn't get the
gel point,
Libra.
he
He
can
just
take
gets
it.
pure straight.
He can take it very well. But when when you gift your seeing through to others, you do it very gently and very in a supportive way. And this is where I think having a tough parent doesn't do much rather than having a supportive parent that will guide you in a clarity. You ask a
Mm.
deep, deep questions and you keep digging in and digging in and digging in and digging in. And you, like you said, you don't really layer this on the top of people. You ask them what they want. And then you're just, because, I've done readings with you and you've read me like 4 times. And when I re-listen to them, I'm always like, wow, I didn't even hear what she said because what she's saying 4 years later makes more sense than in the moment of it. But I
Isn't
want
that
to,
the truth? Yeah, that's really the truth. I really
yes.
recommend everybody record their readings. Do the $50 more to record that reading, because it's like, hold on to your thought because I want to hear it. But I think
Mhm.
it's just really important to say, it's kind of like when you go to the doctor's office and you get a bad diagnosis and they tell you this horrible thing, that you have, and you literally hear want, like
Mhm.
what want, and you go home and you're like, what medicine am I supposed to take? I don't even know
Mm,
what the doctor said. Am, am I okay? You don't even remember. It's almost like a panic and amnesia,
mm, mm,
right?
mm.
Like a
Yeah.
state of panic makes you not be able to recall. So just taking notes isn't even good enough.
Yeah. And for such good questions, I really believe answers lay in the future. Meaning later on, you'll find out why this was a question for you to figure out. And as if the protective system comes in and says, I can't hear it right now, I can't take it, right? But your questions sustain the time. And this is where I want to point out, for some reason, your questions are accurate for the upcoming development. Either next year or in a couple of months, something in there will show itself clearly
Mm-hmm.
later. How do you source these questions? How do you know, Mer? I
Mm.
get the chart, but something else is at play as well.
Okay.
Energy, mediumship.
Yeah, it's something like that, because I think honestly, I got an intuitive gift since I was 2 years old. When my mom recalled the story to me when we were on the bus moving from Chicago, Illinois to Tucson, Arizona, and we stopped in Oklahoma City. And in Oklahoma City, a man got on the bus, and she said he looked kind of, well, rugged, Oklahoma City. He looked kind of rugged. It was a Greyhound bus, and he sat in the seat next to me, and I made best friends with him. And I actually, on the bus ride from Oklahoma City all the way to Tucson, this is kind of when I started to be able to see inside of people. Um, I fell in love with him. I know I was 2 years old. It sounds crazy. It's not some sick thing. Okay. I'm
Mhm.
just saying I fell in love with his soul. I saw that he was lonely. I saw that he had very little. I saw that my 2 year old self could make him laugh and smile. I saw he actually had a twinkle in his eye that could turn on and off. I saw that he was tired. And I wanted to be his joy maker. And then he got off the bus before we did. I don't know where. And I was, to say devastated isn't even the word. This was like my best friend. And I told my mom, and I had my face pressed up against the glass, and I was like,
Hmm.
my boyfriend. And I was bawling, crying. And my mom rolled down the window and I handed him my Skipper Barbie doll. Just take a
Wow.
little piece of me with you. And that literally was at 2 years old. I could start to read the hearts of people.
Mm.
And I did that my whole life. So I got into tarot. I got into tarot 8 years before I became a professional astrologer, to just do tarot readings on the side. It wasn't my real job or anything, but I got really good at it. So much so, I have all these tarot cards over here, like so many. It came to a point now where I don't need the card. Like I'll do the card if you want me to, and I'll do the card to double check. But the intuition was really what led me into astrology. So it was there
Mm.
first. And then the intuition just turned into premonition work and psychic work. But I always like to describe myself as a master of the intuitive arts. That's how I speak of that. And then after my
Mhm.
dad died, it took 8 years after my dad died. So not for 8 years, but after 8 years, I got the gift of mediumship. And I do medium work too, but I don't advertise it. I don't really love taking money for it. Um, but I am capable. But hold on, look at this. This man is my mentor, Dr. Michael Newton.
Mhm.
Oh my God, I love him. And he really opened up the portals for me. He opened up my South Node in Scorpio and my North Node in Taurus in the 10th. He opened up the portals for me. And it's in the portals where you get your intuition. You have to live in your portals. You have to
Mhm.
live in those portals, the North Node and the South Node, to find your connection to the divine. And
Mm.
so I lived in those portals. I live in that portal, that
Mhm.
Scorpio, the Scorpio portal. I live there. That's where that intuition comes from, and
Mm.
this psychic ability. Can I ask, where's your portals? Where are your portals? Your North
Sa
Node, South Node.
Scorpio, South Node 6th, and North Node 12th,
So are you?
Taurus.
How old are you?
40.
You're 40. Yes, you're 18, 19 years younger than me. So we are each other's South Node, and your North Node is Taurus.
Mm-hmm.
I
12th.
I think you do a much better job at Taurus North Node than I do, because and it might be the Pisces, because your Pisces goes so well with the Taurus, and my son doesn't go well with Taurus. There's a calm about you,
Mm.
and I know you're busy, and you have 1,000 irons in the fire too, but you really do embody tranquility. That's my word for this year, is tranquility.
Ooh, nice.
So I love looking at somebody who has my same nodal access and vice versa, because we're on
Mm.
the same trajectory. We're learning the same things. You have a psychic ability, even probably more so than me, if you were to really sit in it.
In it. You said the key word. If you are right, first to recognize it and accept it and acknowledge it. The second is to learn about it and play with it. And
Yeah.
I think,
And this guy helped me learn about it.
mm, and I wonder if your
But
south node is in fourth of Scorpio, you're almost archetypally sitting in the underworlds of all that we ignore. We don't want to get there. We are tomorrow. I can't. It's not time now. But you're sitting in it, and you mentioned you are going towards becoming the whole, the one, the enlightenment or the evolution path towards somewhere. Often we assign this to from underworld to the upper world. But in your sense, I'm getting it doesn't matter which world you're in. It matters what you feel, where you actually expand to your powers and to your abilities and capabilities. So can you tell me, please, and enlighten me?
yes.
Because I'm complete opposite. I don't dwell too much and sit too much into the underworlds. I take them all. And when I take them, they hit and they rapture everything about me, and I lose everything that I know. And then I rebuild myself slowly. So it's always that, almost like this is why I started astrology, to understand how I have all the requirements and requisites in my childhood, in my South Node, to totally be in the wrong dead end street. And somehow I'm not. So
Yeah.
how? It doesn't make sense. And often these capabilities we don't really know of. We're not aware of it, right? So it's almost like they kind of come through us. They act through us. They, as if the invisible force comes in and just moves pieces around, and we're really not even conscious about it too. So how do you find this sense of abilities and capabilities that you discovered and you embody so well now that you're very concretized in it? Like, this is very true for you. How do you find them guiding you towards forward your path? And what is that?
Wow. I wish it was so linear like that. I wish there was such a formula. I follow the scent, I in a way, like one, and I also have a lot of faith in my own resilience. I'll tell you what I think the greatest superpower in the world is, and I count on it a lot to lead me and guide me to the places that you speak of. And that is the ability, and fixed signs can't do this very well. And I'm a fixed rising sign, and that South node is fixed and that North node is fixed. So I have fixity in my chart. But the superpower, I think, is the ability to pivot. Pivot, pivot. Um, and why I say that is because if you can pivot like a dancer, and you eliminate the process of beating yourself up for failing, because you're just going to pivot. And if you can do that, it turns into a really healthy superpower. Like, hey, plan A did not work. By the way, astrology Astrology was not my plan A. It was not my plan B. It was my plan C. And am I a failure in the plan C? No. Plan A, I probably would be homeless, like an actress on the streets of New York. I would have probably been in a sleeping bag by now. Um, Plan B, I would have been broke, maybe happy, but totally broke and definitely not living where I live or how I live and not putting a kid through college. Um, so that would have been unfulfilling, right? Eventually, that would have been managing the arts, managing. I worked at the opera, the theater, and the ballet, and that was just starving artist. So this was
Mm,
plan C. So I think it's that ability to pivot into yourself. So when
mm,
you have a little tiny gift, and how you know that you have a gift is if you've changed somebody's life for the better, there's a gift in that. So let's say you're at Starbucks. I'm answering your question, but it's the long way. You're at
mm,
Starbucks and you've got your coffee, and the person next to you's got their coffee, and you say something to them, and they light up and they tell you a little slice of their life. And they leave and they say, it was really, really wonderful to meet you. And you go your way and they go your way. Something in that conversation, something about your energy exchange is a gift you have inside. And you just change this person's life. So lean into that. Lean
mm,
into where your gift is. Lean into where your gift is taking to you. Be open eyed and open hearted enough to know what you're good at. But if you were a child that was told your whole life that you're good at nothing, it's very difficult for you to even see when you are good at something.
mm,
And that's why parenting parents are so important. You're shaping these little people, you know? I got good
mhm.
parents that really told me when I did great things. And they also told me when I didn't do great things. I guess I got supportive parents, like what you said. They were tough on me too. My dad made me sit in the dark in college. I was responsible for the electric bill. I lived with 5 women in a house. It was my turn to pay the electric bill. I didn't have, I wasn't grounded enough to know, oh, I'm going to need $138 to keep the lights on. I didn't know that. So all the lights, all the power went out, and all my roommates were so mad at me. It was my turn, my responsibility, right? So I called
Mm,
my dad and I said, Dad, I need $138. I worked at Baskin Robbins ice cream. I didn't have the money. Dad, I need the $138 to put the lights back on. And he told me, I wouldn't be doing you any favors if I paid that electric bill. Pardon me? I'm going to lose all my friends. We can't do our finals. It's finals week. We're trying to
mhm,
graduate. You're not going to let me graduate college? No, I didn't say that. I said, I'm not going to pay your electric bill.
mm.
And he did not fucking pay my electric bill.
Thank God.
Can you believe that? And
But
my
isn't it
mom
now?
did not pay for my spring break either, ever,
But,
not once. She said no. All the other girls got their spring breaks paid for. I didn't. I worked at Baskin Robbins. What I'm saying is that's a
I love it.
supportive parent. That's a parent that's actually saying, I believe in you.
Mhm,
So good parenting creates healthy human beings, which allows you to to see what you're good at, and they provide like a flashlight for you to be able to cultivate the gifts inside of you, give them away, and see the impact. And when the impact is positive, you lean into them and you end up cultivating your whole entire life.
mm.
But what do we do with the people that don't get that? That's really the big question.
Yeah. So if I may just
Yeah.
collect the story, you leaned into your plan C, D, E, F because something expanded you when you
Yes.
touched someone's heart. And I think this is where we often disregard our capabilities and powers that live inside of us because we
Yes.
really don't understand them. And this is where
Yes.
the education now comes in to say, but I'm getting curious about how come I feel lighter? You're a very social person. You have a lot of friends. You spend a lot of energy maintaining the friends, exchanging actively, like you and I are doing this. But there are times when we spend our energy with someone and we feel shrunk, we feel contracted, right? Rather than expanding. And I think expansion, this is how I feel. Expansion happens when you and I benefit from connection together.
Yes. Yeah. And it's you. Okay. If I didn't have, I think it's because we match our heart vibration. Like you
Mm,
and I, we have the we have that ability to like instantly, not even a warm up needed. Your chart, my chart, it's actually highly compatible in a lot of ways. And it's like if I expand my heart to here, you expand your heart to here, and then some, and then some, and then some, and it's heart expansion. But I think that takes two people.
Mm,
That's the
yes.
synastry of two people. Have you ever talked to somebody who just like you said, just shrinks in your energy?
Oh, yeah. But at work all the time. And I really think, and this is where I think your teaching is actually transmutation of the feelings because it cracks you open and then you start wondering about it. Oh, you become curious. But if I am entering into your head, I'm actually butt heading. But I'm
Oh
trying to
yeah.
find a crack inside where we can both relax for a second and soften, 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 and enter gently because I'm not trying to change you. In front of you, I'm unique. In front of me, you are unique. I honor that. I respect it. I accept it. I acknowledge it. And for that, it takes a lot of practice coming into the body. This is how I process it. And when I feel in front of someone who is very, I'm right, agenda, I have to do, I follow the notions or stories or narratives that I'm programmed to, it's very hard to enter. And that is work. So very
That's
contracting. You can't even.
beautiful. Let me tell you something that's really interesting about that. I think, talking about astrology, I think the signs Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius are exceptionally talented at creating curiosity.
Mm,
So I'm not trying to fix you and change you, right? But if I can create the curiosity in you for you to want more, for you to see yourself differently, it's almost like I'm giving you more questions than answers
mm-hmm.
about your own self, for you to do your homework and research, to for you to invest in yourself. And I love that I've never quite thought about it that way until this moment in time. And so you just gave me that gift and reiterating back to me what I said to you. I found a new golden nugget, and that's precious. And thank you for that, because I do think creating curiosity is another superpower in the world. So I'll
Mm,
give you an example. My mom, who's 82 years old, my cousin came over to the house and she said, Janet, do you want to know why you are one of the most interesting 82-year-olds on the planet? And my mom said, I am. And she said, yes, you are. And she said, it's because you are curious.
mm,
And
mm,
82-year-olds, not that many 82-year-olds are curious about anything. They feel like
mm-hmm.
they have their answers, they have their life, they have their TV show, they have their chair. They don't want to go learn something new, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, curiosity, the ability to be curious and to pivot, those two words are really good superpower words. And if you think about what those two words do, they are mutable, they are adaptable,
Yeah.
flexible, changeable, right? So
Mm-hmm.
it's just very interesting. And I do this all the time. I take every conversation and I'm having a little astrology interpretation in my head, just sitting at the Christmas dinner table. Nobody even knows that I'm like, oh, that was their Libra talking. Oh, that was their
Mm-mm.
Aquarius.
Yeah. And by the way, since you're talking about it, can you detach from that and just loosen up and
No,
do the puzzle? No more?
it's
Do you?
not possible. It's like you with knowing two languages. Are you in your two languages all the time?
I, good question. I sometimes I practice them daily, but I
It's
can't
like,
do both at the same time.
ooh, I think I'm in, like, astrology is truly a language, right? It is
Mm.
really a language. And I'm in the metaphor of the story of the astrology chronically and constantly. But what I have learned is to not put that on other people because not everybody is interested in it.
Yes, yeah, and afraid of it too. And
Yeah.
but
So I try to be
do you?
respectful.
res- Yes. So two questions in this. I literally have a list of questions right now that just came into my mind. A list. And I was like, hold on, two. First one, how do you rest from it? Meaning, how do you rest from knowing predictability through astrology?
Oh,
How do you simply do the puzzle
okay.
and you're like shut down into the present moment and you just let go and allow yourself to enter into the unknown potentially?
Okay. It's kind of like this. So I know that my husband and my daughter are going through kind of hard times. I know astrologically that's Pluto in their chart. I know it. Now, I know the script has already been written. So it's like a movie. The script has already been written. So I now have to watch the movie, right? I don't go tell them, oh, that's Pluto. I don't tell them that unless they ask. So I am detached from putting it onto another person, but I do live with it inside of me.
Mhm.
And it is a bit of a burden, but I do tell myself, Taurus North Node, you have to also watch the movie. If you're directing the movie all the time or building the movie all the time in your head, then you never get to sit back and watch it happen. So I think the watching is also very important piece to the astrology. But
Mhm.
it's an obsession, it's chronic. It's the only thing in my life that I've done for now 26 years consistently every single day of my
I
life.
mean, it becomes, it's you. It becomes you. So,
That's really true. It's not a job that I do, it is who I am.
who I am. And knowing, how do you feel about knowing and seeing unfolding?
Yeah, that's very painful at times. Especially when like I know um okay, I know that this transit is going to bring upon death and transformation. So, what I do quietly in my head or in that relationship, if I know somebody's going to have a difficult transit, like both my husband and my daughter are having right now, I talk to them outside of astrology. They don't want me to sit there and do the nuts and bolts like, oh, Pluto is 2 degrees away from your sun. That's not going to help them. But I can talk to them about what changes do you want to make in your life, helping them get ahead of the transit in a way.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If my daughter's going out and driving the car and it's a full moon night in square to her moon or something, or it's an eclipse night, and I'm like, the transits are bad, wear your seatbelt. She'll roll her eyes and laugh and go, okay, mom, and think it's cute, but it won't be taken as seriously. So I have to find ways to speak about it in a way that creates gravity.
Mm-hmm.
If I
And it's
told you
relatable.
that, yeah, relatable. If I told you that, you would be like, oh, okay, what is the transit? You know what I mean? So meet people where they're at.
Mm. But you have to know how to do that. And how do you do that for yourself, Mer?
Well, this is kind of a secret. Um,
We can
I'm gonna
edit this out.
edit. No, you can tell. Um, I am so busy. I don't look at my own chart. I don't work with my own chart on a daily basis. I don't do it. I'm not
Mm,
making predictions for myself. I just don't because I would if I didn't have an octopus. I don't have an empire. I have an octopus with
mm,
8 tentacles. And I have to feed each piece of the company to keep it up. So it's really, really busy. I have my chart memorized. So I know what's happening, but I'm not studying my chart and I'm not looking to tell you
mm,
the God's honest truth. I don't have time for my own predictions.
mm. On the other side here, um,
I don't recommend
because
that though. I think everybody should be working with their own chart until you get too busy.
yeah, and here I'll have the other side of what
Yeah.
it feels like to actually look and face yourself. Chart is phenomenal into looking inside of yourself and meeting yourself. And to me, without the chart, because I tend to float and I tend to live in a different world most of the time, I wouldn't know who I am and what my capacities and powers are. It's still, actually, I'm still learning about myself, how hard it is to actually face yourself, to
Yes.
learn about who you are and actually accept it.
It's
But
really true. And I did do that for probably 15 years, my first 15 years, but now 26 years, I just don't do that anymore. But I recommend that you do just that. I mean, I looked at my chart every single day with, with the daily planner at the time because I didn't have
yeah.
software.
Mm, yeah. Well, and again, there's many roads to lead to whatever that we need to. And we're coming back to, how do you know your path is your path to take? How do you feel expansion rather than contraction? How do you feel, okay, I can rest in this even if it's unknown. I feel I'm at home. I'm feeling this is the right way to do, even if it's
Mm-hmm.
just short, 100 year in a timeline, in time lapse. So
Yeah.
really cool. And you get to teach that. And I think not everybody's meant to be a parent, nor a teacher, nor a guide, nor a mentor. And you have this inside of you, this like innate trust that people just come in and trust you. I trusted you with my whole self as if we'd done this before.
Mm,
And I don't even
appreciate that.
question it, not even a second. Ever did I ever question your direction? And I do not trust people whatsoever. I
Mm.
learned how to not trust at all. And often people ask me, who are your mentors? Well, most of them are dead. They're from 12th century. They're back in the day. They live in the books. True.
They live in the books. It is
Yes.
kind of fun to have a living, breathing mentor, isn't it? It is fun.
Yes.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you. And I'm so happy to hear that. Happy isn't even the word. I'm so fulfilled to know that. Thank you for saying that. And I appreciate your generosity. It takes a generous spirit to give a compliment. And I don't know why it's so hard, but I
Yeah.
really like take that and put that deep into my soul. And I fell in love with you at hello.
Yeah. And you also feel it. I think you're a big, big, giant feeler. You can feel everything, which if we only lean into the feelings, and we
Mm-hmm.
felt free and safe enough to experience them, I think we will merge and we will emerge from it very differently. So I want to touch base on one more thing. I know we're running out of time. You wouldn't
Okay.
believe it. Um, you have a school, Meredith. And this is
I
something
know.
that is stretching you out a lot, as you said on one of your videos. And this school, wow. When I saw it, I was like, wow, it is
I'm so excited.
academy.
Yeah.
Me too. And it's starting in less than 10 days.
Yeah.
And I am curious about a couple of things related to it. You probably knew for a very long time you're going to do this in such concept that it's bigger than just a retreat. True or not?
Not really. No.
Mm,
And I think if you would have, like, even when you first met me in Barcelona, um, 3 years ago, was that 3 years
yeah,
ago?
yeah.
If you would have told me I was opening up an astrology academy, I would have been like, what? How am I going to do that? I have no time. I don't see that.
Mm,
And you know how I said I lean into like I guess it's an affirmation that I might receive. So the only reason why I even got on YouTube, the only reason why I'm sitting here with you today, the only reason why I met you in Barcelona is because of YouTube. And the only reason why I got on YouTube is somebody said, you should do a long time ago in 2010, you should do a video on the different zodiac signs on Facebook Live. And I was like, what? So I was like, okay, I'll try it. And I just go like this. Let me tell you about Leos. And that turned into a bigger thing and a bigger thing and a bigger thing. But I really listened to the people that I love in my life. Like
mm,
I let my students inspire me. I let my clients like really affect me. And I had
mm,
enough people telling me to get on Facebook Live that I moved it over to YouTube. And then boom, that happened. And then enough people were like, I can't afford to go abroad. I can't afford to fly to Seattle. I wish you would do this online. I wish you would do this online. I wish you would do it. So I leaned into that. And I really created that out of my students and my clients. Um, idea for me, truthfully.
Mm,
So it was never something born from me. It came to me.
mm.
And I opened up my heart and listened. And I'm so excited about this academy. It's going to be a huge dedication project. I have to give up snow skiing on Sundays, and that is painful, but
Yeah,
worth
you
it.
said you're like, I'm giving up like 30 Sundays, you guys. This is a big deal for me.
Yeah, it is really hard. It's very difficult because I don't have a lot of free time, but I don't care. I love it. I think it's going to change my life, and I think it's going to change my students' lives. And I originally was just going to have it be like 10 students or very small mystery school, right?
Hmm.
And now I'm like, I want to make it affordable for anybody who wants to learn to be able to come and learn to become a professional astrologer. Like, I want, can I just say this? Can I tell you that, like, the motivation that the genuine motivation? So, Jessica, who was also on your podcast, was my host in Barcelona.
Hmm.
We were drinking great Spanish wine in her flat, and we were out on the balcony. And she said, I've got the name for your academy. And I said, my academy? I don't have an academy. And she's like, you will. And I was
Ooh,
like, oh, I just don't have time. And this is like the 10th person who's said, you have to do this online in a school so more people can come and more people can access you, and do it in an order, a proper order, because on YouTube, we don't always know where to start. And I have 2,000 videos on YouTube. So now the maze is even more confusing. So, anyway, she said, I've got the name. And I credit Jessica with giving me the name. And it is absolute perfection. The Athena Academy of Astrology. Don't you think it's just a great name?
so good.
It's so
So
good.
good. And
The
so you.
I know I felt so seen. And so when somebody gives you a gift like that, when somebody gives you a gift like that that can transform not only your life but maybe the astrological community, if I'm lucky, um that's powerful. So I got curious about it, and I pivoted, and I did those two superpowers to birth this academy, and I'm just thrilled about it. And I'm
Mm,
allowing people to step into sort of, the astrology world is the wild, wild west. It really is. It's the wild, wild west. Um, there isn't a lot of regulation. There sometimes isn't even a lot of ethics.
mm,
And there aren't
mm-hmm.
a lot of guardrails. And I wanted to have an ethical place that had compassion and empathy without arrogance, without exclusivity, without, barriers for anybody who feels compelled to learn the art.
Mm.
And I want to build a place where I can pass my torch onto others and light your fire, light your passion.
Mm, hmm. And
Yeah.
just to add to that, what you just said, Athena Academy came from Jessica's mouth into your heart as if dropped, but it also takes you to be open to receive. This openness to receive is this confidence and trust and belief. You believed in something that you couldn't
Oh,
understand. You have this innate connection with something much maybe higher than you, bigger than you, that you are almost as a vessel awaiting. Show me what it is that has to pass through me for others. And now you're so thrilled about it. And now you're
yeah.
edging it with probably with this fruitful tension. Oh my God, it's happening. And oh my God, I have to give up of everything. And this fruitful tension is what people also sense from you, because now it gets exciting, it gets full of responsibility. You own it, you accept it, you push for it, you're open to fail, make mistake, rebuild, succeed, stand up again. And all of this is this dance with very much what you said, pivoting and being able to really maintain openness to life, to life, to
It's
life.
so true. And I think that if everybody, you know, I talk about magic beans a lot, not just planting seeds. Like, I'm not just growing a little daisy garden out back.
Hmm.
I want to grow a Jack and the beanstalk. I want the magic beans. And so many times we are given the magic beans and we don't go and plant them. And I planted Jessica's magic beans
Yeah.
for my own self and for my students. And I feel like that's going to be more enriching and more empowering than maybe anything else that I've done. I think this school is going to be like maybe my biggest blessing, maybe my biggest offering. And
Mm.
then I want to just tell you about the snow skiing really quickly. So I met with the people that on Christmas Eve, I spent the evening with the people that I go snow skiing with. And because my husband doesn't snow ski, so I go with a group of friends all the time. And I asked them and I begged them, can you guys please make Saturdays work? Because I'm busy on Sundays. Do you know they all were like, absolutely.
Yeah.
So you just move your life around to allow the beanstalk to grow. But a lot of people receive the magic beans and they poo poo them. They throw them
Mm.
away.
Mm.
They don't hear. Like that same guy, I don't even know who it was. You should get on Facebook Live and do a video about, I don't know, the
Mm.
zodiac. And those early videos are on YouTube and they're kind of funny to watch. But
I love them, by the way. They're really good though. You're right. They poo-poo them because they don't understand and they really don't know what to do with that. The magic is so abundant in nature to, like this is something so natural to me that it's almost very hard. You always say, how do you put the entire universe into a sock jar, right? So how do you organize this chaotic,
yeah,
unknowing, flowy, coming in and out, changeable, ever forceful, gentle mixture cocktail of paradox? You simply don't know. But what you can do is very much learn how to open yourself up to unknown and take it, taste it, have a little bit of it, sip on it, simmer, take a coffee with it, sit with it, and see what it wants. Maybe there is some sort of inspiration that comes in or excitement. Maybe it's a love in a different format that comes in and plays it. Why say no to the potential? But I think we really don't know what to do with that. And this is where I'm like, oh, we don't even know what to do with love when it hits us. We lose
yeah.
everything that there is. We don't know what
And
to do with magic like that. What do
And
we do?
I think the reason why people poo-poo it or throw it away or say not right now, this is usually what people do. They say, okay, but not right now. Like, great idea for my future self, right? That's the number one way people poo-poo is, okay, I'll do the academy someday. Well,
Yeah.
I'm not getting younger. And
Yeah.
so what I wanted to tell you is, I think it lies in the Virgo part of the chart where there
Mm.
is a desperate, almost a panic around not being perfect, not knowing enough. Well, I don't know everything, but I can teach what I do know. And I do know a vast amount, but I don't know everything. And I also have a gratitude for my community. And I say this wholeheartedly, my community does not expect perfection from me.
Mm.
They don't. They actually like it when I make a mistake. I don't know why. They celebrate them. They laugh with me.
It's
Right.
real. Yeah.
It's really real. And so I think I built into my community that I can't be perfect. I'm not going to be able to be perfect. And they're very compassionate. I also think astrology at the highest level only has compassion in it. And I just want to say something about that. I don't do dispassionate astrology. So I find sometimes Vedic astrology is very ancient. It's the
Mm.
oldest astrology there is. And when you're reading it in the traditional context, it has brutality sewn through it in a way that I can't relate to it.
Mm.
Like we're not going to sacrifice lambs and humans anymore. But
Mhm.
that sacrificial piece is really embedded in ancient Vedic astrology and ancient Vedic astrologers and reports. I had to pull it out of my shop and not even sell it because it was way too dark.
Mm.
So, why was I saying that? I think I was saying that because my students come with a great deal of hope, love, inspiration, empowerment, and compassion for themselves, for me, for the art form.
Yeah, and you said we went back to why do we say no to such unknowns? And you
Yeah, the
said it's
fear.
pulling you back into the Virgo inside, which is like so freaked out to make the mistake and be perfect. And I think this is why the opposition of Virgo is the Piscean way as well. It's like
Yeah.
you have to kind of fluff it a little bit. And very much when I feel the tension, which I think it's very fruitful before, that's why I do the puzzle. Because
Yeah.
I'm like, how about I do nothing? Right now, I'm
Yeah.
going to do nothing and let it all go and fluff away in order to loosen up the grip of something, Virgo, and so much so that it's actually not doing me anything favorable. It's going to destroy the entire idea. So loosening up a little bit, and it does help doing the opposition.
Yes, totally. Stepping into, you know, if I make a mistake, um, and I recognize it, that's easier. If I make a mistake and I don't know that I made a mistake, that's a little bit more devastating. Do you know what I mean? Because, and I
Mm-hmm.
have done that before too, but I think the people that want, well, I looked at the roster, and the roster of students is just absolutely amazing from all around the world that are going to come to the Athena Academy. I think they come already. I think like this art form, if you will, attracts people who already come with great empathy for others,
Mm.
you know, and I think really healthy astrology does not tear you down, does not make you feel the doom, the gloom. It builds you up. It shows you
I love that.
your powers, shows you the love inside your own heart. And so that's a real goal of mine, to put the light into the world and to pass the torch to people that are younger that could carry on that light. Like the mentors
Mm.
before, someday I'm going to be a mentor in a book,
Mm.
and at that time, I hope there's enough light spread out.
I'll keep repeating you have to write that book until it hits you like Athena Academy name from Disney. Mare, do you find it coincidental that you're launching Academy in the numerological year of one?
Ooh, no, but I will tell you what I do find fascinating, and I didn't do it because of it, is this is the year of the fire horse.
Hmm.
And I am a fire horse.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I'm like in perfect alignment. I do believe in Chinese astrology. I do believe in Eastern astrology. I studied it for 3 years.
Mm.
And I think there is so much truth in that. So that's like, that was so shocking to me that I did not time it that way.
Yeah.
That just happened. And then tell me about the year number one.
It's just the beginning, numerologically. I hear it. I
Mm-hmm.
don't really know much about it, but it does feel like I think if we look at the astrology and the chances that are going to happen, there will be this push forward. There will be this nudge,
Oh,
almost like
yeah.
this,
And
like,
all the outer planets are changing signs. I mean,
yes.
2026 is an enormous year. I'm doing a video on it for the whole month of January. I'm talking about 2026.
Hmm.
But that great conjunction of the 0 degrees Aries with Saturn and Neptune
Mm.
is a new beginning for 38 years.
Hmm.
So for the next 38 years, this is a number one year, in the sense of that 0 degrees Aries is that spring equinox. It's the zero, it's the very beginning of the astrological calendar. It's the very first day of the zodiac, and it's the number one, and it's a fire horse year.
And I'll add one more thing too.
What?
In 2030, Neptune is leaving Pluto's orbit, which means
Oh,
it will now be spirituality and psychology as two clear parts of ourselves that are no longer mixed and matched, yet cannot live with one without one another.
wow. I love that. That is beautiful.
So
Yes.
everything is aligning in a favor of this explosive expression. And now we have to really think about what is your center that you're expressing from? Is it the push in the head, or is it this center, or is it really just being a centeredness into something? So I am very excited about what's to come ahead in the next couple of years. And
That's only, what year did you say? 2030?
2030,
4 years. So, and oftentimes we can feel the buildup,
the
you know,
build up.
I think we can feel that buildup right now. Don't you?
Oh, I feel it in my bones. And
Yeah.
I want to feel everything until I burst.
Burst.
But I'm playing with this energy and I think it's very playful. That's why I don't really know what to expect. And I've heard many astrologers are saying, you mentioned something. If you have a few more minutes, I'm really curious about what you think about this. There's no
Yeah.
ethics regulation in astrology. And it comes back down to either the therapy, like you really need to tune into yourself to know who you trust, what is the source of information that you're receiving as an input, as time is running, meaning is taking its toll on, we have less and less available. Everything
Yeah.
is just getting faster and busier. You really have to be honest about who you want to receive and what are the truths. And it's very, very important to say that tune into the energy of a person who is speaking because there's a nonverbal communication that is happening when the two energies are blending in. This is something I trust more than I trust the input from others. How do you find your source of truth? Because you're gifting this outside of yourself that maybe you're not even aware. But how do you find the source of truth for yourself? And what is your truth, Mare? I'm sorry, I kind of had to take you all the way outside the universe. What's your truth?
um, wow, it's so innate. Like, what I wanted people to know is later, if somebody studies at the Athena Academy of Astrology, one, they are getting very deep information. This is not going to be a glossary. And the deep information is below the surface. So it's like taking off the stereotypical mask and going really deep inside. I think the truth can be found always in not the what, but the why.
Mm,
So I want to know why Scorpio's private. Well, let's talk about it. And the why is oftentimes found in the psychological wound. It's very Jungian, it's very Freudian in a way, which is the psychology. Um, uh, in astrology, there's not one body governing it. There's no governance. Um, there's no scripted ethical, moral rule book to it. You must know this. You must come to the table with this already inside of you. To be a great astrologer, you need to be, here's your prerequisite requirement. You need to be the type of person that will return the lost wallet full of money to the rightful person when nobody's looking. So are you going to be that person? You'd make a great astrologer if you have the other skills and gifts too. But if you don't start with that, if you
mm,
don't start with honesty and kindness, you're probably not going to do very well. And that's really the
mm,
truth. Now, you don't have to be that to be I mean, you could be a real creep and be successful, giantly successful in business. You cannot be a creep and be successful in astrology. Do you know you could even be a creep and be a pretty good therapist? You could be. You could be. I know some. They're very successful. They got a ton of clients. They're fantastic and they themselves are narcissists. Do you know what I mean? But in
mm,
astrology, because you are the vessel, you have to be right with yourself, with your
mm,
morals, with your ethics.
mm,
You can't be a liar and a really good astrologer. They
mhm.
don't go well together. Don't you think so much of the work is energetic in who you attract?
100%.
Like
Oh,
I look at
100.
I look at Pam Gregory on YouTube. I don't know her personally. I've never met her in person. And I would bet my life that she is an impeccably honest soul. Wouldn't you?
Mhm.
I think she is impeccably um truthful and moral and kind in real life. I think if we sat down and had a gin and tonic or a tea with her, we'd get the same person.
Mhm.
Don't you?
Oh, yes. That's the sense. That's the activated
Yeah.
truth inside of us. And it's open and honest and transparent to you only. It's a privacy of your own
Yeah.
language. Like it's a private to you. It's almost your moon. Like only you know of it.
Yes.
And if you truly tune into it, this is where the attunement into non-verbals come in. If you truly attune to it, we're not meant to save the entire world. We're meant to connect with some,
Yeah.
just some souls, and they will be attracted. And, it's almost like I always think about this as a house with open windows and doors, and energy as a feng shui comes in and then comes out and it's
Yeah.
welcome to come in and disappear and then come back again. I am wide open for you to come and join any time in your season in your life. And I will be the same. For that, it takes centeredness and knowing oneself.
Yeah. And it's a feeling. And a lot of people, when they meet me, will tell me if you thought this. The number one thing I hear when somebody first meets me, well, first it's, you're so tall. That's the first thing I hear. Wow, you're so
Yes.
tall. And that's
Yeah.
hilarious. And the second is, oh my God, you are exactly who you are. Right. They say
Yeah.
that. And I'm like, thank God. Thank God. That would be really hard to
Yes.
do. Just, wear persona. And if you feel that way about your astrologer, if you feel that connectedness, that warmth, that non-projection, very important in astrology to not project my wounds onto you.
Hmm.
So you have to be a pretty healed person, I think, to be truly good at guiding others.
And not projecting means knowing them.
Yeah, knowing them
And
in their capacity.
which is why you have to look into your chart and find yourself in there. Look at it widely, or have someone who will and come with the freaking question.
Do
This is
you
my pet
like your
peeve.
chart better today than when you first saw your chart? Were you afraid of the things you saw? I know I was very afraid of the things I saw, and now I love it. Have you had that trajectory with the experience with your own chart?
I didn't want to look at it. I wasn't pulled into it for a very long time. I was pulled in everybody else's business. So we live out there. We never come
Yeah,
here. And then I did a lot of coaching and practices, and I did this 10-day silent retreat where I just
I
meditated for
remember
10 days.
that.
And then
And you
this
did nothing
brought
but
me back into,
meditate in the middle of, like, on a remote in a remote place.
yes. So my
And you didn't
awareness,
talk. You didn't talk for 10 days.
no, 10 days silent for 120 hours of meditation. But what happened is that my awareness came back to me in my center, closer and closer and closer. And then I realized I see the world from here. Something shifted and changed. And I was curious about because everybody else is telling me I should do this, and yet it doesn't feel like truth. And I think the moment I was centered into something was centered inside, I was able to look into the world with a different eyes. And it was such a big shift that just unfolded later on. So a lot of projections can't come my way, but the way I perceive them now depends. True, not true, questionable.
Oh, I like the questionable one.
And then I get curious. Okay,
Yeah,
well,
because
maybe it's true because maybe I don't see what you see in me and I'll check it out. But you're saying something, it's like psychologically, you have to know your healthy boundaries. You have to know where you go crazy. You have to know where you edge too much that now it's no longer you. And you have to be able to pull back. Like you said, I don't look at my chart, you say, but I know how to prepare them for what they're coming their way. So only when I know myself, I will be able to know how to attach you. And I will actually be curious to get to know you genuinely without wanting to change 1 inch of what you're going through.
yeah,
There.
that's beautiful. That's very beautiful. I love that. I've loved our conversation. You are
So good.
such a delight to talk to. And why do you live so far away? Why are you not here in my living room?
I'm coming. I'll see you in academy every Sunday.
Are you
And then
coming to the academy?
yes.
Yes, you're on the roster.
Hmm. I can't wait. And I want to just,
It's going to be amazing. We're going to start with the basics, and then we're going to continue next year, and you can even get certified with If you do 10 courses, you get a level 1 certification. Yay, it's going to be absolutely wonderful. And anybody still watching this, right? Like this is such a long conversation. You can find out all the information at soulnavigation.com.
Yeah, and I'll put them in the link in the bio.
Okay.
Mare, I love
Yeah.
you with my
I love
whole
you.
heart.
I
Thank you
love you.
so much.
This has been delightful. I adore you. I love you. You are such a special, beautiful, bright, smart light in the world. And I really appreciate you.
Same. So go shine. You have fans and you have supporting system, and there's a lot of people that love you. And I'm just on behalf of them telling you, you're just continue being you because we need you.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.